Welcome, everyone, and congratulations on taking your first step toward mastering the fundamental principles that govern the laws of building a cash cow out of your network marketing business. Your featured speaker is one of the most powerful speakers and trainers in the network marketing industry. He has taught thousands of people, just like you, to create a picture of success and turn that picture into reality using the techniques and approaches you are about to learn. Holton is among the top 5 income earners in the company and was voted Man of the Year in 2002 and 2003 by his peers. He is a platinum executive and one of the top 10 distributors who serve on the Corporate Leadership Council. Take out a pen and notepad and prepare to learn from one of the best in the network marketing industry, Mr. Holton Buggs.
All right, Happy New Year's, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Everybody excited for an incredible 2004? Yeah. How many people is this year going to be your year? Yeah. Absolutely, that's what I'm talking about. How many of y'all are going to be able to get rid of and fire your boss this year? Yeah. How many of y'all ever thought about having some plastic surgery this year? All the ladies raised their hand. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about taking out those credit cards and being able to cut those suckers in half. That's what I'm talking about, plastic surgery. But I tell you guys, it's very exciting to be here. I'll tell you, 2004 is going to be absolutely incredible. There's a lot of things that are in motion right now, and it's not just because it's a new year. I know a lot of people set New Year's resolutions, and I'm not one of those New Year's resolutions type of people, because most people set them, and for the first 10 or 15 days, or first 7 days, most people are on track. And then the rest of the 350 something days, they're kind of like off track. And but we're not going to do that this year. I don't believe in that. I just believe in making a decision, whether it's at the beginning of the year, whether it's at the middle of the year, whenever it is time for you to make a decision to move on, that's when the decision actually starts. That's when you start to resolve to get the dreams and goals that you're looking for. Well, this year is going to be absolutely incredible. There's a lot of things that we have in store this year that's just going to skyrocket your business. The thing that I'm most excited about is not only, like I say, the new year, but there's right now just a sense of momentum that's all around this business right now. I mean, the company is just growing like by leaps and bounds. The system that we have in place right now is absolutely incredible. And what my goal is today is just to share with you some information of how you can kickstart your business, not just for the year 2004, but how many of you right now are really ready to make a decision to move forward and get the dreams and goals that you're looking for in this business? Yeah. And that's every single person in here. And that's what we're going to talk about. Now, the key thing is this here. I definitely advise you to take some notes, because you'll probably only retain about 15% of what I say if you don't take notes. Let me give you one rule of thumb. Anytime somebody is ever talking or speaking who makes more money than you, or the money that you desire to make, you should always have a notepad and a pen, and if at all possible, have a tape recorder. I can tell you guys, I grew up in the business just walking around the successful people, just listening to what they had to say, and I'd have a tape recorder. If they were going to say something, I had a tape recorder there, because there was just the little small nuggets that I was able to harvest, and I was able to take that stuff, and when everybody else was asleep, guess what I was listening to? I was listening to the real stuff that they got. And that made the difference between where I am now and where a lot of other people who weren't taking notes, guess where they are? Still not taking notes. Still not living their dreams. Still working for somebody else. Still doing the things that they don't want to do for the people that they don't want to do them for, and for the amount of money that they don't like. And so what I wanted to do was I just wanted to make myself just a little bit better in every single area than all of the other competition. Now, I'm not saying that your peers here are competitors, but guys, let's face it. In this industry of network marketing, there's 35 million distributors in the industry of network marketing right now. 35 million distributors worldwide. And the statistics are this: less than 3% of those people make over $100,000 a year. Less than 3% make over $100,000 per year. Why is that? If there's over $30 billion of revenue being generated in the industry of network marketing on an annual basis. So guys, there's a lot of money out there. This industry is just a baby right now. 20 years, 30 years, 40 years from now, we'll be talking about this industry doing $200-300 billion. We'll be talking about companies that will be doing in excess of $50 billion in annual sales. And we're just a baby right now, but only 3% of those people make over a six-figure income. Why is that? Are the 3% of the people not educated? Are the 97% of the people not educated? No. Are the 97% of the people not out there showing the plan? No. Are the 97% of the people, lazy? No. It's just that the 3% do all of the things that are necessary to do the business a little bit better and are a little bit more consistent and are a little bit more focused and pay a little bit more attention to detail than the other 97%. That's what makes the big difference. Most people think that, the income, if you fall in the ballpark of the same work habits as millionaires, that you'll kind of, make $500,000. No, guys, you got to do 100% of the deal. You got to do 100% of the deal, but you got to just be that much better than the other people. And this is what I find. And I always walk into a room and I look around. And the first thing I do is I always look up front to see who's up front, because typically your leaders are up front. And then you know what else I do? I'll pay attention to what everybody else is doing, and I do the exact opposite. You know why? Because 97% of the people in this industry don't make a six-figure income. Why would I look around and do the things that 97% of people are doing? You walk into any room that a person not tells you, if they don't tell you to start taking notes, I guarantee you, you'll find 97% of people not taking notes. And so guess what? By you taking notes, you put yourself in that top 3%. And just by putting yourself in that top 3%, you put yourself in the category of doing the things that successful people do to bring about results that they're looking for. And so just pay attention. Just pay attention to dress. Pay attention to detail. Pay attention to posture. Pay attention to how people speak, how they actually talk, how they introduce themselves. Find the 3%ers that are already in the business and model those 3%ers. And so that's just what I'll start off in terms of what I call my little tip for how you can be successful in the year 2004. And not only in 2004, but every other year that you want to be successful in this industry here. It's going to be absolutely incredible, rocking year. Guys, today we're going to have a lot of fun. Y'all agree? Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Now, a couple things I want to set the stage on today, and I want to just tell you, most of you know my story. 4 years ago, we were $250,000 in debt. Had no money. Credit cards were maxed out. Just didn't have any money. That's where we were. And we still had a dream. We still had desires, and we figured out a way through this industry of network marketing actually just a couple of years later, completely debt-free, except our house, and owned our vehicles and things of that nature. And now things are just absolutely rocking. Things are just going absolutely fantastic. Our income is going up by the week. Our groups are growing every single day. There's thousands of people right now, every single week, looking to get in our business. And that's something that we confessed a long time ago. But I'll tell you one of the things is this here. It wouldn't have happened if we didn't have a desire. Because all of success in year 2004 is going to happen with your desire. I was talking to a group of people the other day, and I said that, you don't get what you want in this business. How many of you really believe that you really, before today, thought that you got what you want? Or that you could get what you want? No, you only get what you picture. You only get what you picture. How many of you last year wanted a six-figure income? How many of you the year before wanted a six-figure income? Now, how many of you the year before that wanted a six-figure income? How many of you the year before that wanted a six-figure income? How many of you the year before that wanted a six-figure income? How many of you the year before that wanted to be retired? You follow what I'm saying? And so what we find is this: 90% of the people, they want all of these things. They want this, they want that, they want this, they want that. They want a six-figure income. They want a huge organization. They want money in the bank. They want retirement. They want this beautiful home. They want this beautiful car. And they find themselves doing the same exact thing week after week after week after week after week, year after year after year after year. And guess what? Your goal was to want it. And guess what? A year later, you got your goal. You still want it. You only get what you picture. And so the imagination in this dream box up here is the catalyst to your six-figure or to your seven-figure income. Whatever it is that you want. I'm not here to guarantee your income, but this dream box up here, this machine up here, this multi-trillion-dollar computer is the catalyst to you getting the things in life that you want. And I find so many people, what they want to do is work on the technical aspect of the business, which is great. Technicalities and the knowledge, that's wonderful. But I'll tell you guys, if you can imagine it, if you can dream it, you can have it. Because when you start to dream it, when you start to imagine it, when you start to picture yourself having a six-figure income, when you start to picture yourself sitting at home at 10 o'clock in the morning instead of waking up to an alarm clock, when you start picturing yourself driving that car of your dreams or living in that home that you really want to live in, and you start picturing it, see, when you start to picture something, it happens almost every single minute, not every day, almost every single minute it's on your brain, subconsciously. And what happens is this, that subconscious mind, what it's going to do, it's going to find a way to make that reality come true. If you picture yourself not having success, if you picture yourself sick and tired of people not showing up, and I can find out what you picture by what you say. Oh, man, you know what, man, people not showing up, when I invite people. Well, we're going to talk about that process today and how you can get over that. I find people saying, you know what, people just not getting in. That's what they're picturing. See, you can't say something contradictory to what you picture, not consistently. And so you have to picture yourself having the success. You have to picture large numbers of people coming to your organization. You have to have a vivid picture of what it is that you really want. Now, how do we go ahead and what's the fuel to the business? The fuel to the business is your dream. It's how you're going to take that picture, what that picture is, and how you're going to manifest that picture into your material equivalent. That's what we're going to talk about just for a few minutes here, because that's the most important thing. And people hear me talk about it all the time. They hear me, man, he's on that dream tip again. Here he is dreaming. Man, I used to love coming to training, but every time he's going to make you dream, he's going to try to make you think you're successful. Duh. Isn't that the purpose of this day? I just want to know, how to pop an ad in the paper. I just want to know how to call this person, how to do that. Well, the how-to stuff is great, but I'll tell you this. When you have a dream, when you have a strong desire, you figure out all of that stuff, even without an upline, even without somebody directing you on what you need to do, because you have the desire strong enough. And so the first thing it is, if you want to be successful in this business, guys, is you have to develop several reasons why you want to build the business. The reason that some of us haven't moved along is because you don't have enough reasons why. And if you look at every area of the things that you do on a consistent basis, you have reasons why you do them. How many of you go to work consistently? Why? Because if you didn't go, they cut the paycheck. And if they cut the paycheck, you lose your house. If you lost your house, family matters wouldn't be so good. You lose your car if you didn't go. You lose your savings account. Your kids couldn't go to school. So you've got a lot of reasons why you consistently go to work and do things that you don't want to do. How many of you really right now, honestly, and this is not to bash your job, how many of you could find something else better to do with your 40 hours than to go and show up and warm a chair? Okay? Man, that's most of you. But there's a reason why you do it, and that's why you consistently do it. It's either out of fear or it's out of desire. Most people are motivated by fear of loss than the possibility of gain. We're motivated by fear of loss and the possibility of gain. And so what we've got to do, guys, is you got to find out what it is that you really want in this business. Decide what it is that you want. You have to make a decision. What is it that you want? And you have to dream it and you have to picture it every single minute of the day. I know this may sound kooky to some of you guys, and you may not have ever experienced this, but I'm just telling you, how I became successful. Remember, guys, 7 years I was in network marketing, never made any money. My biggest month was $500 in a month for 7 long years of network marketing. I never missed a meeting once, ever, in 7 years when I was in that first company, ever. I never missed a meeting. If there was a meeting and I qualified, I was there. Did I have the money? No. But you know what? From the beginning, I pictured myself at the meetings, and so guess what? My picture made it possible for me to get there. Nothing ever came up. And guess what? I had the same experiences in my life that you have in your life, but I found a way not to ever miss a meeting. Now, did I make money? No. I'm going to tell you why. I never made money because I never pictured myself making money. I'm trying to shortcut your success because it took me 7 long years to figure this out. And I used to hear the speakers on stage talk about developing a dream, developing a why. You have to have plenty of reasons why. And I understood that stuff, and it sounded real good. And I always attached my dream to what the speaker's dream was. Speakers always talking about freedom and all of this stuff. I didn't understand what freedom was. How can you understand something that nobody's ever experienced in your life? You can't understand what freedom is. But I said that I wanted it, but I couldn't picture freedom. I couldn't picture being a multimillionaire. I didn't know any. Didn't have any personal friends who were multimillionaires. I didn't know any of those people. For me, being a thousandaire was a great goal. Not a millionaire, a thousandaire. I just wanted to be a thousandaire. We had a couple $100s in the bank, I couldn't go from being a hundredaire to picturing being a millionaire. That's like right now, most of you can't picture yourselves being a billionaire. You can say it, but you can't picture it. Or most of you don't picture it because it's a big, big process to get from where you are to billions of dollars. Okay? And so I had to start picturing myself becoming successful. I had to start picturing myself having the bank account. And so I had to decide what I want. Now, the key thing for me is this here. I made a list of things that I wanted, and that was, for me, it was kind of difficult. It was kind of difficult. And so what I had to do personally, and I tell my story all the time about this, what I personally had to do, you may not have to do it this way, I had to do it in reverse. Because I had things in my life that I didn't want that income and network marketing would have eliminated. And so that became my motivation. Because, see, I couldn't get excited about a multi-million-dollar house. I lived in apartments all my life. We never even owned a house. We had a 2-bedroom house before that we rented, and I think the rent was maybe like $300 or $400 a month. I couldn't picture myself in that didn't motivate me. I couldn't picture myself in this beautiful car. That didn't motivate me. It just didn't. I couldn't picture millions of dollars in the bank. That didn't motivate me whatsoever. Freedom didn't motivate me. All of that stuff really didn't motivate me because I didn't know how it felt. I couldn't get the picture and get the emotions behind it. Because whatever it is that you picture, you must get the emotions behind it. And once you get the emotions behind it, that's how the picture becomes reality. So what I had to do is take what was emotional to me and turn it into some type of reality. You know what was emotional to me? And like I said, I had to do it in reverse. I didn't like working for somebody else. I knew how that felt. I didn't know how freedom felt, but I knew how it felt to work for somebody else 40 hours a week, 40 years, and retire on 40% of what you already couldn't live on. That to me was a no-no. That to me, I didn't like being under control of somebody else. I knew how it felt for my boss to say, you need to be here at 8 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning, and don't be 1 minute late. I knew how it felt to be degraded and have some other man tell me what I need to do with my time. I knew how it felt for them to tell me, hey, listen, you need to take a lunch break at 12 o'clock. How did they know I got hungry at 12? They didn't ask my permission, No. I knew how that felt. I knew how it felt not to have enough money in the bank. Because there were so many things that my wife and I wanted to do, and guess what? We couldn't do them because I didn't have the money. I couldn't picture at that time what it felt like to have a whole lot of money in the bank, but I knew how it felt not to have money in the bank. I knew how it felt to have creditors call the house. Or I knew what it sounded like. You follow what I'm saying? And so all of those things that we had, so many people see us today and they think that we didn't have any of those issues. Guys, I'll tell you one thing. 4 years ago, I could have sat right there in the crowd. Nobody would have known who I was because you know what? Our situation was exactly reverse of what it is today. No big cars, no big house, none of that stuff. No money coming in, no money in the bank, no freedom, bondage. And I knew how that felt. I knew how it felt. Now, this is what I did know. I knew how it felt to see mothers have their kids and have to send them off to daycare. And I heard the complaints all the time. I heard them all the time. I knew how that felt. And guess what? I didn't want any of that stuff. And what I did is I made a list of those things that had an emotional burn with me. And remember, for me, it was a reverse effect. I couldn't picture all the things that I really wanted. Maybe you can. I'm not saying you have to do it my way. But you have to have some reasons why you're going to build this business. So I couldn't picture all of those things, but I pictured the things that I didn't want in my life, and I figured out I need a vehicle to accomplish those things, I need a vehicle to give me the financial wherewithal to eliminate the things in my life that I did not want. That was my motivation. Remember, I saw speakers on stage. They say, how many of you are going to be a diamond? How many of you are going to be this? How many of you are going to be that? And I'd always stand up and raise my hand, but I never pictured it up here. And that's why I never got it. But you know what I did picture myself? I pictured myself at every single meeting. I pictured myself getting the knowledge. I pictured myself associating with positive people. I pictured myself associating with the people who had the income, the people who had the lifestyle, and therefore I never ever missed a meeting since I've been in the industry of network marketing, period. End of story. It was never an option for me to miss a meeting. Why? Because I just developed it up here in my picture. The benefit to that is this. Because I did picture myself at the meetings and I did picture myself at every event, I was associating and subconsciously I was picking up the knowledge anyway, and I got the training on accident. It's a true story, guys. I got it anyway. If you take a kid, he's born in China, put him in America, raise him in America, what is he going to speak? He's going to speak English. Is he going to know one word of Chinese if he leaves his parents and to get raised by me and my wife? No. So he's going to pick that up on accident. And I don't believe in accidents, but you guys know what I'm saying. He's going to pick it up anyway. He doesn't know any better. And so because of my positive association with other people, I didn't have a choice. I didn't know any better. I didn't know anything else but to think a certain way. I didn't know anything else but to think in a success mentality, in a long-term mentality, in a wealth mentality. And so I made that list, and because of that, it made the things happen up here, it made them come true. And so what happened is this: because I made that list and I consistently verbalized the actions that I needed to get rid of the things in my life that I didn't want. And what happened is, next thing you know, things started happening in my life for me. Did it happen right away? No, it didn't happen right away. Why? Because remember guys, I had 20-something years at that time of negative thinking. And you can't go from 20-something years of negative thinking. Some of you have a longer period of time of the wrong programming. And so I had 20-something years of the wrong thinking, 20-something years of negative programming, 20-something years of job mentality programmed up here, and it took a while for me to dilute that process out so that I can now start thinking success mentality. And that's why some of you right now, it's real difficult for you to make a decision whether you're going to be at the power training or not. You know why? Job mentality. Success mentality people have already registered. Success mentality people are saying, when is the next function going to be, 2 months from now? Is there a way I can get a registration? Job mentality people think, man, you know what, I don't get paid until I'll do it after payday. Because we've been programmed to do things when the boss gives us a paycheck. And if you consistently do those things, guess what you'll have? You'll consistently have those same results, and you'll never live the things in life that you really want to live. I'm just giving you the truth here. And so first thing you got to do, guys, is develop some reasons why. Anybody ever heard of the lady whose son got trapped up under a car? And what did she do? She lifted that car up. Why was that? Why did she lift that car up, Tanya? She had a why. She had a reason why. She had her son. She had her pride and joy. Emotion was all wrapped up into that moment. And, it didn't matter. When she had a reason why, she didn't go to the manual and she didn't call 24-Hour Fitness and say, hey, listen, I've got a son up here. What's the proper way to bench press this car? She didn't need information on how to do it. All she needed was a reason. Now, let me ask you another question. 5 minutes later, after her son had already been rescued, the car's still there. She goes back, try to lift the car up again. What's going to happen? Now, let me ask you a question. Did her muscles disappear in 2 minutes? No. What happened? Her desire, her reasons disappeared. Guys, to me, that's one of the most powerful stories I've ever heard. And if you understand that, that's why I'm telling you guys, that's why some people who are sitting right next to you right now, they have something happen into their lives. Next thing you know, 2 months later, 3 months later, next thing you know, they go from whatever pen level they are to one of the highest pen levels out there. Why? They found enough reasons to do it, and they got emotional about those reasons. So you have to develop a burning why of what you're going to do.
Wow, that's powerful information. Let's take a 30-second action break. Picture yourself achieving success as you write down 10 goals you would like to achieve in your business. Now remember, if you're driving, let's not write, just picture it. Now that you've developed your why, let's talk about the second principle in turning your network marketing business into a cash cow. What is it that you're willing to give up in order to get the things that you want?
Is this business going to be easy? Yes and no. It's not easy in a sense because everybody'd do it if it was easy. But it's very simple. It's very simple. It's easy once you make the decision. See, it's easy for me to go out and show the plan. You know why? Because I got a big why. It was easy for her to pick that car up. She had a big why. It's hard to do it when you don't have a reason why. It's real hard. I'm telling you guys, waking up this morning, Saturday morning, putting on a suit of clothes. If you lagged out of bed this morning and you and some of you did, and that's okay. But if you drug out of bed this morning, it's because you don't have a big enough dream. But those who got up this morning, fired up, excited, drove from miles and miles away, excited, got here early, was anticipating what was going to happen, they got a big dream. They got many reasons why. Many, many reasons why. Same thing. If your son was here, this here was your son was staying at the hotel, your daughter was staying at the hotel, and you found out the hotel was on fire, are you going to drag out of bed? If you found out there was a shooting here, are you going to drag out of bed? No. Without makeup, everything, you just gone. Why? You got reasons why, guys. I'm using those examples because I want to hit you where the emotion is, because I want you to really understand what it's really going to take for you to start doing the things. Because, see, I'm going to talk about the how-to. But, see, if you don't understand this why, if you don't have reasons why, the how-to is not going to matter because you won't do them. You won't be consistent enough doing those things to make the financial equivalent come to pass. You have to be consistent with those things. So you have to figure out what it is that you're going to give up. You know what I had to give up? I had to give up some television time. Now, this was based on what my goals and dreams were. If you have big dreams, that's great. You're going to give up a little bit more. If you got small dreams, you have to give up a little bit less. But this is the thing I want you to understand about the industry of network marketing. You don't give those things up forever. You give them up for a small time, for a short period of time. And what happens is this. Whatever it is that you sow into your business or that you give into your business, if you're consistent with your actions, it will be given to you multiplied. And I'll give you an example. What did I have to give up? I had to give up golf on the cheap green fees. I could only afford to go over here to this particular golf course. It was a municipal course, and I walk. It'd be 180 degrees outside in Houston, humidity 200%, African hot outside, and I'm walking with some metal sticks on my back saying I'm trying to lose weight. The reason I was walking with golf clubs because I couldn't afford to purchase a cart. But I had to give up playing golf on weekends to work on my dream. I didn't give it up forever. I had to give up some television time because I watched a lot of TV. Am I saying television is bad? No. I'm saying it's bad for a person who's got a big dream temporarily. I had to give up a lot of social events that weren't so important to me. Most of those social events that I had to give up were things that I was doing just to pass time because I didn't have anything better to do anyway. I had to give up some association with some negative people. I had to give up that association with negative people. I had to give up or invest money into my business. Why? Because it is a business. I don't consider this network marketing. Most of you know that. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry right now, and your business can be a multi-million-dollar business, and it's going to take some type of finances to make it work. It's going to take some type of finances to make it work. And so for me, I had to give up and invest money into my business. I had to give up some travel, some, loose travel time. I know we had a couple vacations that we wanted to take, if you want to call them vacations, in the same state. Going to the same state, We're going to Austin. But I had to give up some of those things. Why? Because sometimes they called events and they called big meetings and they called trainings on the days that we were going to plan that particular vacation. And guess what? In the beginning, it was uncomfortable. And then when they set the date, I may set that date and I say, hey, I'm going to be at that training, anyway. And so I gave up a lot of those small things. Now, this is what happened. Because I gave those things up and I worked the business consistently. Now, let me share something with you. Don't give the stuff up if you're not going to work the business. Just because you give a sacrifice, just because you give something up doesn't mean that it's just going to come back to you anyway. You have to give it up and you have to work. When a farmer goes out and sows some seeds, he doesn't just throw some seeds out there and say, hey, I'll see y'all in about 6 months and I better have about, 50 acres of corn out here. He throws the seeds out and then he works the seeds. He works the soil. He makes sure he fertilizes it. And he's out there every single day making sure the bugs are out of there, making sure that there's no birds coming to get the corn, making sure that the soil is the right temperature, the soil is the right texture. And he's out there working. And then guess what? 90 days later, he sees his harvest come. So you can't just go out there and give stuff up or invest stuff into your business and then expect something to come back if you don't go out there and do the work. So you have to have a consistent work habit along with that. So I gave up a lot of those things, and this is what happened. Because we gave up those things, this is what happened. Miracles started to come about. Because I was operating on a principle that governs the law of building wealth. And you can't refute those principles. Those principles are universal. I don't care if it's network marketing, any industry, those principles work. We gave up playing golf on the cheap green fees. Now guess what? I play all over the world. Just come back from Montego Bay, Jamaica. Several of us were out there in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Played in, this course, incredible course called White Witch Country Club. The first tee, some of you saw the picture when we showed the slideshow. The first tee is about 200 yards. The tee box is about 200 yards from the fairway. That's how far down it is. 16 holes, ocean view holes. Just carts already washed and everything. When we got there and we pulled up, they came and got our bags for us. We didn't have to carry any of our own golf clubs. And then when we got there, we had 2 caddies. We had people to go and chase that little white ball for us. I needed 3 caddies. They couldn't find mine. Now, was it worth it giving up playing at Sharpstown to go play over here at White Witch? Was it worth it giving that up to play at Terra del Sol over in Aruba? Where it's just incredible. Same thing, ocean view holes. I think green fees are around $200 and something per round. And it's just incredible. You hit the ball one way because it's very windy in Aruba. You hit the ball one way with the 1 iron or a driver, and you can only drive it about 150 yards, hard as you can hit it. Then you come back the other way because the wind is blowing in your favor. You take a sand wedge and you hit it almost 200 yards. Incredible. Some of y'all don't understand that, but anyway. But it was worth giving that up. It was worth giving up some social events that I was able to give up. And now guess what? I do the things that I really want to do, and I do them in style. We just came from the EV1.net Houston Bowl. We didn't sit down there, in the nosebleed seats where everybody else was. We were there in the club seats. You follow what I'm saying? I was able to take my brother, I was able to take my son in the club seats. It got real cold out there that day. Everybody else was shivering. We were there, plush couches. We had about 15 plasma screen televisions that we were able to sit there, watch the game, and have food brought to us over at Reliance Stadium. While everybody else is out there shivering. Can't see the game because they got their coats over them. Because it got real windy and cold. Was it worth giving up some of those events? Absolutely it was. Was it worth giving up some television time to do things like that? We gave up television time, and then we were able to go to Paris, and we were able to watch, just some incredible shows in Paris. Was it worth giving up some television time to go to Vegas and be able to sit, just second row and see, by Cirque du Soleil, and have water splashed on you because you're so close? Was it worth giving up some television time so now that when we go to Vegas, we were able to watch the Siegfried and Roy, and we were able to sit right there in the pit? Right there. I don't know if y'all know what the pit is. The pit is the high dollar tickets. Where now some of y'all may think we're crazy for doing this, especially after what just happened recently, but we're sitting right there in the pit, and you got the animals that walk right by you. You can sit out there and you can touch the lion, and then you can touch the tigers. But there was choice. I didn't have to sit there if I didn't want to, but because I gave that up, I was able to come back and do those things. And so what happened is this here. Because we put money into our business when I didn't have it. Not that I took my savings. No. I just was smart about my business. I put into my business, and because I put into my business, what happens is it starts coming back to me tenfold. Guys, that's a principle, and you can't refute it. I put money into my business, and then I worked the business, and next thing you know, guess what happened? It came back tenfold. It came back 100-fold. It came back 1,000-fold. And now it's just coming in, and it's just coming in, it's just coming in, it's just coming in. And sometimes it comes in to a point that you don't even know what to do with it all. But we found out what to do with it, okay? Just want to let y'all know. We got plenty of reasons why, okay? You follow what I'm saying? So you got to give up those things, some of the things temporarily right now so that you can have the lifestyle that you want. We had to give up, like I said, just negative association with people. And now, guys, we got friends. And for Christmas, guys, we got so many cards and baskets and just things that came to our house. It was like the 12 days of Christmas, before Christmas. And those things just came and it was because people just care. People like the contribution that we've sown into their life. And so what happens is some of that stuff start coming back to us. And we can pick up the phone right now. We can call a friend and say, hey, listen, let's go over here to New York, or let's go here and let's do that. We had to give up a lot of little small things and that we couldn't afford to do. And now just the lifestyle is just up there. My wife now, she gets her hair done in Dallas. She caught a flight 2 days ago to fly to Dallas to get her hair done. Why? Because she wants to. You follow what I'm saying? Just do what you want to do. See, that's removing the lid. That's removing the box. Now, guess what? Before, she used to do her own hair because we couldn't afford to get it done because we had to put the money into the business. Say, honey, go to Walgreens, get you one of those perms, those relaxers. Whip it up. You can ask her. You follow what I'm saying? She made it look good, though. But we didn't have the money to go spend, $200, $300, to get her hair done. We didn't have the money to do that. I had to give up, buying nice clothes in the beginning. This is our broke days. And then what happened, because we did that and we went out, we worked the business now, I get custom-made clothes. And I buy things that you'll never see on anybody else. You follow what I'm saying? But 4 years ago, guess where we were? In a worse financial situation than 98% of you. It didn't take 4 years to get here either. I'm just telling the story now. You follow me? And so that's the key thing. Decide what you want. Decide what you're willing to give up.
Success and freedom is not easy. Just ask the spider monkey. The spider monkey lives in the jungle and evades its predators with its speed and agility. Hunters, however, have figured out the secret to catching spider monkeys. See, spider monkeys love candy, so they set up these little candy jars with the opening just big enough for the monkey to squeeze its hand inside. The monkey runs towards the jar and grabs the candy inside. With the candy in the palm of its fist, the monkey can't remove both his fist and the candy. But the spider monkey is very persistent. He continues to pull as the hunter walks up and put a rope around his neck. See, the moral of the story is the spider monkey is so focused on the present that he won't let go of the little bit that he's got to get his freedom. Now would be a good time to decide what you're willing to give up to get what you want. Let's take a 30-second action break and write those things down. The third principle in turning your network marketing business into a cash cow is picking a champion.
And then you have to pick a champion. You have to pick a winner. Pick somebody that you're going to model yourself after. Who is it that you are being mentored by? Pick a mentor and associate with positive, successful people who are doing the things in life that you want to do. Does that mean you have to stop being friends with your friends? I'm not saying that. Temporarily, you may have to give them limited access. I'm serious. That's what I had to do. I mean, how can you build an organization of positive, excited people when you're at home with your beer drinking buddies and all you do is tell dirty jokes and all kind of stuff and talk about what's not going to happen? That can't happen. And so I had to give limited access. Some of my golfing buddies, I just chose not to play golf with those guys anymore because it just wasn't a positive atmosphere for me to picture the dreams that I really wanted. It wasn't the atmosphere that I needed to be able to picture myself having the financial wherewithal to eliminate the things in my life that I didn't want so that I could have the things in my life that I did want. So there were some things that I had to eliminate. But associate with positive people. Guys, if you've got a support team or support line or an upline of people that's working with you, and everybody in here, I don't care which line, I don't care what group you're in, everybody in here, you've got an organization of somebody who's successful in this business because everybody in here, your upline leads at least up to Brad Hager. And he's the person who's put the system together. So why couldn't you be successful? Why couldn't you be successful? He's done a phenomenal job at putting this whole entire deal together. But guess what? In the beginning, he had to picture it. He had to picture it being done. If you ever heard that CD from 35 to 312, he pictured this day coming before he had $1 in commission checks from this company. He pictured this day coming. You follow what I'm saying? And so everybody in here, you're very fortunate to be able to have an upline or somebody who can help you get to where you want to go. So you have to associate with that person.
Now that you've developed your why, you've decided what you're willing to give up to get the things that you want, the third requirement in turning your business into a cash cow is picking a champion. My grandfather always told me, son, if you want to become successful in life, find somebody who's done what you want to do and duplicate what they've done. If you're brand new in this business, get with the person who sponsored you and tell them to introduce you to 5 successful people in your support line. Principle number 4 in turning your network marketing business into a cash cow is plan your work and work your plan.
Last thing you must do is you have to plan your work and work your plan. I'm not going to go into how to set goals and things of that nature. That's what your support line is for. That's what your upline is for. But you want to plan your work and work your plan. What do I mean by plan your work and work your plan? Obviously, most of you have goals. Now remember, goals and dreams are different. Dreams are the material equivalent or the spiritual or the emotional or personal things that you want to receive from accomplishing your goal. So don't get dreams and goals confused. The dreams are the tangibles. Those are the things that you guys want to get, that you want to have. The goals are the marking points or the checkpoints along the way to see whether or not you're on target for getting the dreams and goals that you want. So you get with their support line and you figure out what it is that let them know what your dream is. The thing I'll tell you is this, guys. If your upline or support line doesn't know what your dream or goal is, your dream and your goal, then it's going to be a very, very difficult road for you to get there. Because typically, see, the reason that they are your upline and that you're working with them is because they've already done what you're trying to do. So if they've done what you're trying to do, let's say, for example, I want to leave here from Houston, and I've never driven to Waco, Texas. Who in here has driven to Waco, Texas? Now let me ask you a question. Willie's never driven to Waco, so should I go and ask Willie, how should I drive to Waco? No. What should I expect along the way? Any car, police, any speed traps or anything? Is there going to be a lot of construction going on? No, I shouldn't go to Willie. Does that mean that Willie's not competent? No, he's just not competent for me to accomplish my goal and for me to get my dream, which is to get to Waco, Texas. But Ronnie has. I should be in communication with Ronnie. Ronnie, hey, listen, this is where I want to go. And Ronnie's going to lay out a plan. Okay, well, this is what you need to do. You're going to probably need about 2 tanks of gas. You're going to need this. You're going to need that. Over here, about 20 miles from here, you may want to take this detour because they're working on the roads there, and you're going to come into a bottleneck. Traffic's going to be real bad. You follow what I'm saying? Now, what Willie can do is Willie can get up and theoretically tell me how to get there. Well, I know Waco's over here in this area. You just take 45, such and such and such. And see, that's a theory. And so it may take a little longer for me to get there with his theory than with his experience. And see, most of us are getting advice, theoretical advice. And you're getting advice on this business from people who are not even in. It's called sometimes spouse. Honey, there's a power training. I don't think you need to go there. Oh, okay, I won't go. And she's just as broke as you. I'm telling you guys, I'm not being negative here. I didn't listen to my wife when if she was telling me don't go to an event. Remember, I used to bank with her. I knew what her bank balance was. And I don't take advice from broke people. And she was broke. And the same thing, she shouldn't have taken negative advice from me. I was broke. You follow what I'm saying? And I'm not coming down on husbands and wives, but guys, I'll tell you, sometimes that's the biggest dream stealer. Man, you've already been to 3 of those things, and I hadn't seen an increase in your income. Well, you are right. But they'll never say, it's mighty funny. You've been working for 20 years, and we still don't have our dreams and goals. You need to quit. No, they won't say that. You follow what I'm saying? We take advice from friends. I know somebody who was in one of those deals. You just watch out. They're going to get you. I know somebody who was in one of those deals. They never made any money. And I'll tell you, right now they're still in that deal and not making any money. And what we do is we internalize that and we take their advice. instead of taking advice from people like Ronnie, who's been there. He's been there. I'm going to go to Ronnie and find out what I need to do to get to Waco ASAP. I want to go the shortest route possible. How many of you want to get to success in this business the shortest route possible? And that's what it's all about. Okay? Network marketing, number one, is the shortcut. Communicating with somebody in your upline is the shortcut to getting there. So there's 4 things that you need to do from a standpoint of desire. We talked about that. Develop your dream. Develop reasons why. What it is that motivates you. Decide what you're going to give up. Pick a champion. Find somebody to mentor you. Associate with positive and successful people. How do you associate? Books, tapes, functions. Books, tapes, functions. Books, tapes, functions. You say, how do I associate with the book? Well, Napoleon Hill, I hadn't met that guy yet, but I feel like I know him. I associate with him almost every day. Why? I read his books. Like they say, writing makes a man exact. See, I know exactly what he was thinking. There's no theory. There's no theory. I know exactly what Steven Pinker was thinking when he wrote the book, How the Mind Works. I know exactly what he was thinking. I associate with him. He didn't even know me. I associate with people on tapes. Guys, you got some incredible tapes. Guys, we've got story tapes here from Cannon Egg Fly, 35 to 312, Live Your Dreams by Susan Walsh, Flashpoints by Ron Goles. Associate with those people. Pursue your passion. Lisa Head, Take Charge of Your Life, Mark Scarvin. Why wouldn't you want to associate? These are the successful people in your organization and your company. Tireless by Stephen Thompson. Why wouldn't you want to associate with those people? Associate with them. That's what, in my opinion, that's what you should be listening to. You got to Eat the Crust First by my wife and myself. Associate every single day. You go out in my car right now. Take out the CDs that's in there. See what you find in my CD player. And that's not just stage stuff. That's how I associate. I'm always listening to somebody who's built a bigger business than I have. It's a continual process. And so, guys, we've got through chapter 1, what it is that you need to do to build a successful business.
You've just heard the 4 principles of turning your network marketing business into a cash cow. Before you insert CD number 2, review your notes and picture yourself utilizing these principles.